has just been offered a turn by Healy, and it is a trio only, which means that Tom Pidcock and Jai Hindley have been trimmed off. Jan Christen in no man's land as well. I'm starting to dream about silver or bronze here. It'll be fascinating to see how these guys mix for that. Still a minute and 2 with 42 kilometres to go. Less than 3 laps now, Brian.
Yeah, it's an even more difficult situation. There's 3 of them, there were 5. They're still just over a minute down, and this man here, I think he's well in control. It might come under at 1 minute at some points because there's 3 of them behind riding. They're riding harder in the kind of easier parts of the circuit, and that's where Pogačar will possibly ease a little bit, and then when it comes to the climbs, put the pressure on. So I think Pogačar definitely has this one. Evenepoel looks the strongest, and Skelmos and Healy are a wee bit. They're trying to hold something back because they know that Evenepoel is going to power on all the climbs.
Well, blowing his cheeks out like Dizzy Gillespie. This is Tom Pidcock with some chit-chat going on in his head. He's a fabulous open book, is Tom. When you ask him a question, he often ponders it and gives you a very, very honest answer. Sometimes you might not like it, but that's absolutely the mark of the man. He's very straight up and down. And at the moment, he's down by just over 10 seconds, I'm afraid. In fact, it's expanded. It's now 28 seconds down on Evenepoel, Skelmos and Ben Healy. What a performance by Ben Healy as well. If he can medal here, that would be exceptional.
He's got every opportunity now by the looks of things. You know, we were talking about Healy as an outsider contender going from distance. Well, he never got that choice, did he? Because Pogačar decided that, well, he was losing all his teammates. It was a case of 100 kilometres to go from the top of Mount Kigali. That's a long, long way, but it's just blown this race apart. That in the Mur de Kigali, that small part of this course today just killed everybody.
What about Ayuso? How's he be feeling as well? He's made a decision, of course, to leave Team Emirates. He was almost a thorn on the cactus, wasn't he? When it was in growing, it seemed, and it was uncomfortable for everybody. It was almost a relief. Ayuso, that he found himself a contract at Lidl-Trek, leaving at the end of the season. It's essentially already done. He's going to do the Worlds and then the European Championships. He will take part in Lombardia for the end. I think that will draw out his time. But for next year, he will be with Lidl-Trek, and it's a long contract as well for him. Part of the problem for Ayuso, and I suspect possibly for many in Team Emirates, is Tadej Pogačar. He's the man that everyone has to fall in behind. And it's almost like when the king is not at the top table, then a riot breaks out as all the dukes decide to duke it out to find out who's best behind Tadej Pogačar. It's not a pleasant environment sometimes to operate within, although highly successful. And the team, Team Emirates, they gave themselves the best chance of taking as stage wins as they possibly could. That didn't really work out for the likes of Ayuso. It was a late call, and the disquiet came to the surface during La Vuelta, and it's left with Ayuso leaving the party. Same thing, incidentally, more or less happened to Primož Roglič in Visma-Leasabike. He himself found himself rubbing up against Seb Kuss and Jonas Vingegaard in a battle for a pecking order. Roglič lost out. Seb Kuss was declared World Champion 2 years ago, and indeed Roglič left the scene. So that's the way of it. Roglič is back here as national support for Tadej Pogačar. Roglič might well indeed get himself a decent finish today. He is in a chase group that is detailed at 2 minutes and 52 down. Tom Pidcock is at minute 49. You can see by the blowing out of the cheeks of Tom Pidcock that he realised his day is done. I don't think he was at his absolute best at the start. He's had a hell of a year, Tom Pidcock. Podium in the Vuelta was brilliant, and I'm not surprised that there's perhaps something missing from the tank, but At the beginning of the day, we had high hopes for him. It didn't look good, and then we started to believe he was in it was up pointy end of the race. He's ebbed and flowed, but I'm afraid he has ebbed away from this chase group of 3, chasing down this man with 38, just shy of kilometres of the day remaining, and the gap is absolutely rock solid.
Yeah, he's riding at the same pace the group behind, nothing more, nothing less. He's looking at this course and he's breaking it down. He knows where he can relax a little bit. He knows where he has to put the pressure on. And of course, with the chase behind, he really have to table service, the top table here. And he's well in control of this one. He doesn't have to push on 100%. If the gap comes down to 45 seconds, then he'll push out a little bit. So it's all controlling at the moment, and he looks nice and relaxed and well in control of this one. These are the 3 riders battling it out for the last 2 medals. I think Tom Pidcock, you saw him there, he kind of looked back. I think he realises that I don't think interested in maybe fifth in the World Championships. I think he's just looking at how can I get to the finish as easy as possible. He'll be looking around to see if there's any riders coming up, and that's what sometimes happens. You don't want to be in your own. You'll look around, maybe combine with someone else to make it easier just to get round this. I can't say that there are 33 riders still in the race. The last one on the roads I'll say that again, it's 40 now. 40 riders. Fausto Masnada is the last one across the finishing line, and more coming in. Yeah, Fausto Masnada is the 43rd rider still on the roads at 9 minutes and 53 seconds.
Here we are. Check it. Even gaps, and now it's 2 minutes to Tom Pidcock. That was what we were saying about the Roglic group. They're now over 3 minutes down, so it's almost minute margins. Well, he was his 2.5 minute man in the time trial, was Pogačar for Evenepoel. The hope of closing this down is now just there. So it looks like Pogačar, just saw Tom Pidcock there, was at 2 minutes and 5. Unless something dramatic happens up front, I think Tom Pidcock is going to be out of the medals, but a top 5, if he was to be blessed with that, he'd probably take it. It's been an amazing season for Tom Pidcock. What about Tony Pogačar? Well, he has some big holes in the season. He designs them in. That's not to say he doesn't go all in, and when he turns up, well, he usually wins. He won at the UAE, then went to the Strade Bianchi. He won the Strade Bianchi, had a blip in San Remo, finished 3rd. Then he won Flanders, runner-up in Paris-Roubaix, runner-up in Amstel Gold Race. Then he won Flanders. Then, of course, he won Liège-Bastogne-Liège. Goes to the Dauphiné, wins that. Goes to the Tour de France, wins that. Comes back for the GP Quebec, 29th. Goes to GP Montreal, 2nd. Comes to the time trial. This is out on the medals. And thinks, you know what, I need to just step it up on the final day. It looks like he's heading for the rainbow bands. So important to him. Something he can wear every day on the road for the rest of the season. He's loved doing it. And of course, he's worn the bands as part of the Tour de France. He reminds you so beautifully.
You talk about band, and I think that's an elastic band he's got in the back of his jersey there. That might have catapulted him up the Mount Kigali.
Brian is, of course, joking. He's done it all himself. Meanwhile, back in the pits, time for some contemplation. Louis Verreik is watching. Can't hear our voices coming out of his telly, and it has been a tough day for everybody. France started with some very hopes, Brian.
Yeah, mad for everybody and people. This one when he finish. Although this is a good performance from Tom Pidcock here, he's talking to Matt Bramia, the manager of the British team. He'll be wanting to know who's behind them. With 35 kilometres left, a little bit more for Tom. Of course, Matt will want him to finish well up in the placings, but having been a world champion in other disciplines, what else is there to improve? You said he's had a good season already. I would agree with that. But I think finishing fifth would be worthwhile, and I think what Rami is trying to say, just keep on going, try and get the best out of this, because he's absolutely in no man's land at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, and a ball kicking on. There's a few getting a bit animated. One saying he's always got to blame someone else or something when he's lacking. He was dropped on the climb, not good enough today. The end. Well, he's picked himself up as Remco, and I really enjoy his honesty to himself. He shows his emotions, Brian, but yet underneath all of that prickliness is like a prickly pear. It's so sweet on the inside. It's just a genuinely nice Paul. Has said himself, he's almost been dropped into greatness. I think sometimes expectation levels are absolutely enormous, and he bears it well. Inside there's a really nice guy who turns himself into a predator, and he suffers the brickbats that as professional sporting life can actually offer up to you on occasion. And he lets his emotions come through, and how nice is that to see? We don't watch robots, and him to come through and be in a potential medaling position. If he gets silver, that will be an amazing achievement considering the ill fortune that he's had today.
Well, his former sport was football. I'm not saying he's going to score the winning goal today, but I think what he's done today is shown us that no matter where you are in sports, that if everything is going against you, you have to keep on going, keep on trying, and hopefully the tide will turn, and it has turned. Okay, he's not going to be winning the race today, but to go through what he has gone through in quick succession, getting dropped, that doesn't help. And then having a mechanical change in the bike, having to wait for the bike, the car not being quick enough there because of the different groups, when it was all kind of kicking off, it just happened at the wrong time, the shaking of the head, just everything wasn't going his way. Somewhere, whether it was from the car or from the side of the road or within, he's turned it around, and that's kind of testament to a true champion. When everything's going against you, you get bounced up, shake yourself down, and focus again. And what the goal, obviously, for everybody to try the world title, even for Evenepoel, but he's gone down fighting today, and he's going to try and get a medal, and I still believe by the looks of things he could be getting silver.
That would be truly amazing. He's up against very accomplished Brandon Stelmores. We'll see whether Ben Healy's got something left in the tank. Always say that about Ben Healy. He quite often look slightly ragged. You think surely he's on the absolute limit, and then he produces some magic. There's still a minute, and by our old rule of thumb, that should be closable, especially with 3 chasing 1 and 32 kilometres to go. But where's number 1? And he has been just about in every race he's taken part in. It's Tadej Pogačar. Right, you just can't catch him. We believe in this gap, and we believe it might well be sustained, possibly even extended. You may well take some time to celebrate at the end of the day. Unless something strange happens, and I hope that is not the case, you can chuck a chain at any moment, you can suffer a puncture, and you can get the hunger knock as well, which we have seen. And this man will be cueing the Jaws music if indeed anything happens to Tadej Pogačar. Wouldn't wish it upon him. He's an amazing rider. Some people say that, and I often get asked, is it a shame that Tadej Pogačar is dominating everything? And I say, look, you've just got to enjoy it, because these kind of eras don't come around very often. We talk about, even Eddie Merckx talks about him as the new Merckx. And you can say, I saw him, I witnessed it, I enjoyed or endured, whatever it is, you have to have an opinion. And Tadej Pogačar sets the tone.
I don't think anybody loves dominance in any sport.
When you want to see a battle.
But he's dominating in ways. One day I wouldn't say he dominated the kind of cobbled classics, but you know, he did look good. So he's such a versatile rider. You know, he does epic rides like this. Yeah, when he went, there was 100s to go, and then all of a sudden, with about 70 odd kilometres to go, he goes solo. If we were concentrating on Pogacar, it gives us commentators not a lot to talk about. Just one rider. But yeah, but at the end of the day, it's incredible what he's done, and you know, will continue to do. But for us, there's still a way to go to the finishing for these three of them, 2 medals. I think Pidcock's definitely gone. He might get collected by some of the riders behind, but it's just a matter of just getting to the finish for a lot of these riders now, and it must be tempting just to climb off a lap to go, because what else is it to get out? 30th or 35th or 25th place. But you know, Ireland, Denmark, Belgium, all within shot of a medal today. Who's going to be in the podium? It's clear that Evan Paul is the strongest in this group here. He's doing a lot of work, but this gap going up 1:14. It looks as if it's going to be an easier ride for Pogacar than it was last year.
If indeed you could call this course anything but, it is remarkable, and so is this performance. And as you say, it stretched out to a minute 14. Wollongong in 2022 was when Remco Evenepoel himself became World Road Race Champion. He is, of course, multiple times, 3 times consecutively, time trial world champion after securing that amazing feat here. The man he passed on the road during the time trial was Tony Pogacar himself. In fact, 2.5 minutes in the course, finished ahead of him. Well, today, those roles are reversed. Pogacar indeed faded to 4th place out of the medals in the time trial. One clock had stopped upon him. Not good enough for gold, but this was the big target. And it looks like he may have hit the bullseye from distance. It was a big bore performance in terms of riflery. Indeed, that is a word. But no longer part of the Olympic program, because the distances involved in big bore shooting were just so vast. 3 football pitches end to end and a target the size of an apple. No scopes allowed. You just had to aim for glory and pull the trigger. And that's exactly what Tadej Pogacar has done from 100 kilometres out. He went solo with 70. So Del Toro faded. Tino Ayuso. Tino absolutely everybody. He's holding a margin of a minute and 16 back to the trio. Evenepoel, Chelmos and Ben Healy. I mean, the quality of the chase, apart from anything else, but moreover, those who he has seen off Tadej Pogacar. It's going to be a battle for the medals for these guys, because the gap that they hold on those behind has now magnified. The Roglic group is nearly 4 minutes down, Brian.
Yeah, there's not going to be many people finishing this World Champion. I think that was predicted anyway. Such a difficult course. It was just surprising to see the Pogacar going from 100 kilometres out. And I think the reason was he lost quite a lot of teammates on that climb and decided to kind of test it out. He was hoping that Del Toro would have been able to stay with him. He did try to kind of nuss him through at one point, kind of waited on him, but there's only so much you can do, and he's pushed on, and he's got 120 now, well in control of this World Championships.
Anybody else would say 120. This is still up for grabs with just shy of 29 kilometres to go. But it isn't just anybody, is it? It's Tadej Pogacar, and when he's in this kind of mood, from this kind of distance, and after this kind of day, he's in his element, right?
Yeah, clear that he wants to keep a hold of that world title. Last year, it was quite difficult to watch at times. He went through some tough times in front on his own, and such is the nature of these kind of one-day races now, that a lot of these riders going from distance, and this man is not shy of trying to go from distance. He's just getting some support from the car, as you would, and they must be loving it as well. Such a small nation, but such a big nation in cycling, decided last year that he wasn't going to go to the Olympics. His partner wasn't selected, so he decided that, well, you're not selecting her, I'm not going either.
I wonder what the selectors thought of that.
Still struggling. Remco Evenepoel there, you can see the facial expression. Just what else could I have done? It kind of went against me today. I was through a real bad patch there. Nothing was going well for me, and what else can I do? I can't catch this man here. Can't go for the world title, but I think he's keeping his demons at bay, and best by his team, and I think his team are demanding that it's a medal today, and that medal should be silver.
Well, as it stands, it won't be a medal for Tom Pidcock. What a great ride! 36 down. Haven't seen Johnny Hindley for a while. Neither Jan Christen, and it's great to see as they cross the line. The Roglic group come through. Julia Ciccone still up there with Seychelles and Sivakov leave. Tom Winch is bravely holding on, possibly knowing Tom's Winch in the 10th position, and that would be worthy of the man. He's been a great rider. By the way, well worth some following on social media. There's a wonderful sense of fun about him, Tom Switch, the man from Latvia. Well, he's carrying his rather fetching burgundy-coloured jersey along. He's the 34-year-old, now reaching that point within his career where we start to talk about turning leaves. Well, we are in the autumn. We found where the swallows have gone to winter up. But these guys here in Rwanda are thinking about sharing the spoils, and something else that will shine brightly, and that will be a silver or a bronze medal. No shame in that. It's just a shame, in a sense, that one of these guys, by the looks of things, is going to miss out on it.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. It would be nice, of course, for Remco to say, well, I've been a world champion, I've been on the podium, I'm currently a world champion. Well, there you go, there's silver, bronze, but he's not going to do that. I know that they are going to fight it out. I think Remco would be the best, but like you say, it's either Healy or Skelmos or miss out and being. I can't say that Hindley is about 30 seconds behind Pidcock on the road in 6th place, and then we've got a group of 10 riders. Ciccone, Sexas, Eulalio, Del Toro, Roglic, Sivakov, Jan Christian, Tejada, Honoré, Squinch and Ayuso, and they're at just over 5 minutes, so they're about 40 odd seconds behind Jai Hindley.
Well, I reckon we've got about 35, possibly 40 minutes to go of this effort. Depends on how.
What else do you know about Pogacar?
I know an awful lot about Tadej Pogacar, and you know what? It is just a bit of the impressive. I mean, I remember when I wrote my first book, Magic Span, talking about dominance. And things come in waves, and we're talking about the. Of course, of British riders still enjoying some of those waves, of course, reaching the shore. But it was almost a tsunami of success, it seemed, from Great Britain. And there was a cycling nation, of course, in Slovenia that are absolutely nuts about all things cycling. And it was the only language that translated my book into their home language, and it was really nice when I liaised with the person who was doing the translation, and we spoke about the great riders that Slovenia has, of course, as well. And at that time, of course, primary in our thoughts was Primož Roglic, and of course, the likes of Matej Mohoric and Luka Biscuits, etc. And the editor said, "And what about Tadej Pogačar?" I said, "Oh, the youngster," because he was such a kid at the time. And he said, "Yeah, we all think that he's going to be the greatest ever." And I didn't chuckle or anything, but the belief that had washed over from his performances, even as a sub-junior club level, was so exceptional. Go over to Paul, just apologising. Didn't mean to get out of shape in the corner there. It wasn't about upsetting the apple cart of the trio that are chasing. But yeah, they talked about me in glowing terms, and of course everything they said about him came to be. That was well before any of the successes, the racing successes, of which he's had so much, came to pass. He's 27 years of age now, Tadej Pogačar, and it seems like he's been around for decades, but he hasn't, Brian. And it's not over yet, this story.
No, not at all. I think one of the first times I covered the Crow race, the Tour of Croatia, and I was tipped off by a few kind of local people that look out for this young lad called Pogačar. He did okay, not brilliant. And then, of course, a couple of weeks later, he went on and won the Tour of L'avenir. Gives us a little bit of a guide, but even then, I think he's just progressed very quickly through the ranks, and I think at the moment he's in his the only weakness I've seen this year was burnout mentally. He addressed that this morning in an interview, saying that he was more than good when it comes to mentality. Physically, I don't think he was too worried about the time now. He said at the time, maybe if he'd have known he was within, a couple of seconds of the bronze medal, he might have, tried that a little bit harder. But he does what he does, as long as he keeps kind of focused on the goals that he wants and enjoys what he does, because there must be a certain element that you need to have your downtime, you need to have time to enjoy yourself. I know that he does train with just white kit on or black kit on. He doesn't want to be kind of recognised, because when you're a superstar like him, and cycling is number one sports across many countries, are up there with football. Gets recognised everywhere, and you've seen a little bit of that with when you're working with Sean Kelly. All he wants to do is go out and spend time with his partner, Ursula, and just have a normal life. But I don't think he can have a normal life because of what he does in cycling.
Campaign against Genocide Museum, and the building itself showing some of the scars which have been left to remind us of the conflicts that took place here. I don't know whether these indeed impact marks are indeed recreated, or it doesn't matter. Quite a sight indeed. A reminder of the dark times that have passed over this nation back in 1994, but also acting as almost a pivot, how this nation has renewed itself and brought such joy to the world of cycling. And you come here and miles of smiles. They call it the land of 1,000 hills, but 1,000 smiles as well. And we have had such fun as far as this amazing World Championship is concerned. And we thank the good people of Kigali in particular, of Rwanda most importantly, and the youth for taking the decision to bring it to Africa for the first time. It has been an amazing festival. This day as well, although it seems set, you just never know, but let's see how it pans out over the next 20 kilometres or so. Tadej Pogačar, well, his first real big noise that he made when he beat the drum was the Tour de l'Avenir, as Brian was mentioning, back in 2018. And look at the riders who are around him as part of that cohort: Arensman, Mada, Vlasov, Champuzan, Souza, Almeida, Dunbar. know, these are proper rivals, yet he maintains.
Just one thing, just as you're going through that, Arendsman is the last man on the road at 8 minutes and 56 seconds in 31st place.
There you go. So the top two back then in 2018, when he was still a teenager. I can't remember whether he was 18 or 19, Tadej Pogačar, back then. Right now he's 27, and in fact he's only just turned 27. That was a week ago today, actually. So it wasn't much of a birthday when it came to the individual time. But boy, oh boy, he's blown the candles out today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was 20 when he won the Tour of Avenir. So, but even just before that, he was showing signs when he was 18, 19.
In Ljubljana.
Yeah, he wasn't like Remco was. Remco, I think, was a little bit better when he was younger, because he was winning everything at junior. He went to Junior Worlds, but here he goes. He's off for silver.
I'm out of here. This is a silver medal up for grabs, and I don't want passengers anymore. Now then, 1 minute 17. Let's see what happens to this gap, shall we? Because this, essentially, is going to be a 20-kilometre time trial by Remco Evenepoel to limit the damage and the gap that he has suffered in this race at the hands of Tadej Pogačar. Fabulous. Lights up the blue touch paper and goes the light blue touch paper, I think you might say. That's not an instruction, that's a colour. Meanwhile, what about this pairing? One of them right now is thinking, well, does it have to be bronze? And it looks like that. Think of it as rose gold and you can kick on, but kicking dust in the face of those around him. Remco Evenepoel, he's dug in for a little bit of glory. Runner-up in the road race and time trial world champion. I think he'd probably take that after all the difficulties that he has suffered. And the gap comes down. He finds very short order, 11 seconds. So here we go. Maybe we have got a battle on our hands for the very title. He's got 19 kilometres to get back at Tadej Pogačar, who I believe has not been going fully all in for the time being. He'll kick on if there's a danger of Evenepoel getting close, but it's going to be fascinating watching this one play out.
So he said in the time trial it takes 2 minutes back. He's only a minute behind. It's a different scenario in a road race, but did you see that Skelmos and Ben Healy, no reaction at all?
Couldn't do it. Could not do it. Well, the time trial, don't forget, was over a distance of 40 kilometres. This is half that distance. Well, if you can find half the time that he gained, he will still do it.
So he's going to win by 4 minutes?
No. He's got to Tadej Pogačar's time deficit on the day was 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes 37. He's got half the distance to do it, half of 2 minutes 37, minute 15. He might win it by 10 seconds if he repeats the feat. Let's wait and see. It's very rudimentary maths there. Sorry for the bruises on the paper. My pencil it's just snapped. Meanwhile, so as this man's moved, he is going for it, and I'm loving this. This is where all he has to do, he has to rekindle his time trial mode, get into that place where he parks the pain and just digs in. We thought that Tadej Pogačar might be winning this by about 1.5 minutes. It doesn't look like that may well be the case right now. We'll see how dialed in Pogačar, any kind of margin, enough for. As it stands, Pogačar has responded to Evenepoel's attack. Don't know how he's getting the information. There will be a car close at hand, I feel certain. But it's 1 minute and 7 between them. Here's Tadej Pogačar. He's going to come up to take the bell once he's dealt with these cobbles, Brian.
Yeah, and it's a bell that we'll be looking forward to here. 107 back to Evenepoel. He'll know that, but his fans are out. He's in great spirits, and I think he's going to go round the final lap and take victory, but hats off to coming back to he's in control.
Absolutely remarkable. Tadej Pogačar sailing away. The Roglic group, by the way, is now detailed at over 5 minutes. There's Tom Pidcock actually at 5 minutes, possibly even further back. Tom may well find himself as part of that group. Thomas and Healy are now at 1 minute 25, 1 minute got Evenepoel from Tadej Pogačar, who's out front, and has now engaged in the climb. May well see a little bit of an expanding of the gap between Remco Evenepoel here as he hits the cobbles. Had already made a smooth gear change before he even reached them. I think he needs now to get another technical. He's enough technical issues today, probably proved his own time. And they're cheering, chanting Poggy, Poggy, Poggy. Television fans where they're in good voice, good spirits, and you can understand why. He looks like a world champion in waiting. He'll take the bell and he'll have one lap to complete.
Yeah, you can also see the Belgian fans cheering as well. It's, you know, that they're cheering something very special and someone very special. He maybe never won the draw, but he's going to win this road race hands down, going from a longer distance than anybody in history has ever gone.
Quite remarkable. They are a minute and 9 now. We thought there might be a little bit of an expansion on the climb. Evenepoel, though, is going to silver. I guarantee you, when he gets to the podium, he will offer warmest congratulations to Tony Pogacar. If indeed it all draws to a close, so there's a lap to go in order. Evenepoel will realise what a great ride he has done for silver and has taken the time trial title as well. Not the road race this time, because the road is owned by Tony Pogacar.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gold and silver in the two events he comes to in the World Championships. You know, I don't think anyone's done that in recent years as well. So he is a battler. Look as if he threw his toys out a little bit, but he gathered them up again and thought, right, no, I'm better than this. And you don't often see that in races. Normally when riders' heads go, it's very difficult to turn that around, especially when you have to change bikes. And what he's had to deal with. The biggest blow came, I think, in the Kigali when he got dropped. That's a big blow for when you think that you're a major contender to win and you're getting dropped. All the effort his team made today to ride, and they did more work than Slovenia did, let's be honest here. But when you're up against this man here, it made me laugh when I heard Vingegaard saying, well, if it wasn't the Pogacar area, I'd be winning 5 Tour de France's. Yeah, and that made me chuckle a little bit. You know, Pogacar said, I would have won my second world title if it wasn't for Pogacar. You have to deal with what's in front of you, and unfortunately for him, if I was born in another area, I might have won many races. Can't think like that. So, Evenepoel, the two big favourites of the day, are on their own, and I get plenty of encouragement from the fantastic and probably best crowd inside the roads.
Absolutely wonderful. It's been a festival of sights, that's for sure, and we've already offered up our thanks, but we add to that our sheer appreciation of what's involved in bringing something like this to the table. UCI do it year in, year out, and they've provided another magnificent competition, and a brave decision, some might say, to bring it to Africa, and it's been paid back 10,000-fold, I think, by some amazing fans, and a wonderful welcome, brilliantly organised, and indeed a potential magnificent history-making title being taken by the defending champion Tony Pogacar. Comes to the line, he takes the bell, with this man dressed in green.
You know, to go, okay, that's the last 100 kilometres, he's been averaging around about 42 kilometres. You try and ride along a road and see how long you can manage to do that on your own.
I've done it, it's about 3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes. Is that tailwind through the park in your Brompton?
That's right. Pretty good downhill as well at no speed, but yes. You meant on the flat. Or maybe varied terrain. Amazing. And look at the flags of nations that have come here to fate the greats. And Remco Evenepoel is one of the greats. Double Olympic champion, treble world time trial champion, former road race champion. Not going to be this time, and he still looks angry.
Yeah, he still looks angry, and it still looks as if he's suffering as well. It's going to be disappointment for one of these riders. you know, for me, Denmark have had success. Probably Ireland have had good success, but maybe not as much as Denmark over the years. But this is going to be intriguing to see what happens. Of course, my granddad being Irish, I would favour the Irish, but I think both of these riders deserve it. You cannot split a bronze medal, and in fact, it has happened before, Carlton. Can you remember?
It was a long time ago, and wasn't it between? Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of a split in Flanders, which was a double declaration. Go on then.
Geelong,
That's right.
under 23.
Yeah, dead heat.
Michael Matthews won. John Degenkolb was second, and Taylor Finney and Guillaume Bovan shared the bronze medal.
Yeah, didn't go down to thousands, and they couldn't split them.
Yeah,
There you go.
so maybe we could organise that for Denmark and Ireland. What do you think?
It's hard. You can only almost achieve that by accident, quite frankly, on the photos. They can't split you up by 1,000th of a second. It's a dead heat. 2 bronze medals. I guess they had to find one or chop one in half. Meanwhile, I say for the last time, up front, I've got a bit of a tick, as you may well have heard. Say meanwhile too often. That's why he's out. Meanwhile, flattening this course is Danny Pogacar. And here we are, 43 kilometres per hour. Bridie's been so consistent, not only throughout his career, of course, but particularly today, when he's taken on the duty of imposing himself. He's done it brilliantly.
Yeah, he's got a sticker on his bike. I think it's the Incredible Hulk, and he has been that today. But looking at him there, it's not going to be easy. We're trying to put it in perspective there, at averaging 42 kilometres an hour at altitude in this humidity, over this distance. You know, you mentioned everything. It's incredible. It's not a flat course today as well, so he's grimacing. I'm looking forward to the interviews afterwards, because this hasn't been easy. It looks easy. You know, 100 kilometres ago, I tell you what, I'm going to give it a go. I tell you what, Del Toro, stay with me. I will look after you. He's been super today. Remco, well, there's been quite a few things thrown at him. He's still there. He's still, he'll probably finish a minute and a half down. Second place, winner of the time trial. It's been nice to see his fights from the adversity. That's all I'm going to say. And then for the bronze medal, well, Denmark against Ireland, everybody else is out of it, because you know, they're over 5 minutes down. The two of them came into these championships as two kind of ranked outsiders. See Serge Powell's just given every call plenty of encouragement. You still have to try and believe that something can happen, but silver medal and a gold medal, you'd have that all day long for Belgium.
Certainly would. Just trying to remind myself, because I can't, before we actually start, I always mark up the riders as to what I think effectiveness would be. And I was trying to see if, when I pondered it last night, how far ahead I had either Chalmers or indeed Healy from each other. And I had Ben Healy as a higher ranking, to be honest. Giving him 3 stars for Chalmers. Chalmers was my big choice out of Denmark. And I've got to say that Ben Healy, of course, was my choice for Ireland. But I gave 3 stars to Ben Healy and just the 2 to Chalmers. And I don't think it was my own gene pool speaking to me here. Because my very name is Danish, actually. Carlton means somebody from a free settlement, so a free man in Danish. There you go. So there's that, but also got Irish genes as well. But I don't think that entered into it. Ben Healy has been such a fantastic terrier, a great servant of the sport. It's been brilliant to watch him delivering. But yeah, likewise, Chalmers, fabulously entertaining and a good rider. I don't know who's going to win bronze. Oh, his girlfriend's waiting for him at the finish. pleasant as that. To have yourself almost the ultimate prize. 9.3 kilometres to go, a minute and 29. Well, here we are. The chase. The chase 3 is for the bronze medal, and it is, of course, between Chelmos and Ben Healy. Man out front. Well, we've been saying for a while that he's hard to close down, and he's extending the lead now, Brian. It is up to a minute and 30. Absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, no real surprise there. I was just looking at where Erska Ziegard finished yesterday. She was top 10.
Yeah, I think so. Possibly that. Double check.
Yeah, she's just waiting for her partner, Kelly Pogacar, at the finishing line there.
Chelmos and Ben Healy, battle for bronze. They're going to start cat mousing. They've got a little bit of a cushion to endure or enjoy this battle. Still don't know who's going to get it. I would say from distance, Ben Healy would be the favoured one, but Chelmos, he's got a bit of a kick on him. He's not a bad time trialist in his own right, let's not forget. Ben Healy also got a bit of a time trialling head. It's how they cope with the climb. Because there's not going to be much kick left between the pair of them, Brian, at the end.
No, I think he's going to have the strongest legs in there. I'll just update because we're concentrating in the medals at the moment, but going across the line behind the Healy Skelmos group was another group containing Ciccone, Ayuso, Squinch, Del Toro, Eulalio, Roglic, Sexas was just behind. Pidcock was at 6:33. Away back to Jan Christian now, 17 riders, 7.5 minutes. So even Tom Pidcock has gone further back. So there's a group of 5 riders: Eulalio, Del Toro, Squinch, Ayuso, and Ciccone.
Well, it'll be a top 10 that they will be thinking about, and I think that counts for an awful lot, possibly a top 15 or 25. You go figure. It might be that 25 is about the cut-off today, because it's all going to be on timings. Anyone who's still active, I think, will get a finish, because there is no laps to be repeated. We are coming up to our finish, and Tadej Pogacar is going to ride this one home. He's got 7 kilometres to complete. It's been a very, very long day, an arduous one. Some say the hardest World Championship course that there has ever been. Over 5,300 metres of altitude gain, extended over an enormous distance of 267.5 kilometres at altitude, with humidity, and with a fantastic field of riders, all determined to give their very best from whatever nation they come from. Some, of course, have higher expectations, and none heavier than the defending champion. Tadej Pogacar has stood up into the spotlight and has shone brilliantly, a green light on everything.
Yeah, he has. You're talking about all the negatives of altitude, humidity, probably the hardest, the elevation gain, everything like that. They're already kind of celebrating their second world title, but what they have had is probably one of the best crowds at World Championships I've ever seen.
Been amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'd like to say I think Yorkshire probably had a good crowd, but it got washed out by some torrential rain.
Yeah, there was that a little bit, but I just think that the Rwandans have just been celebrating cycling instead of just concentrating on the Rwandan cyclists. They're just happy for this event to be here, and they've been doing this all day, all week. For everybody. Yeah, everybody that I've been in contact, I've been here, the crowd's been amazing, and the support. Normally you come to a World Championship, you support your country. Well, they're supporting every country.
They are. There was a moment there where I thought Remco's head had dropped, and he was not issuing an oath, but just getting a little bit upset. He needs to be proud of what he's achieved today. This has been absolutely magnificent. It's been a privilege to watch it. nothing is easy, especially in the world of absolute elite sport, and that's what we're watching at the moment. There may be a big gap between Tadej Pogačar and everybody else, but Remco Evenepoel had the beating of him in the time trial, and indeed is potentially heading for a silver medal. Provided nothing still happens to him. He's got a margin of getting on for 50 seconds, around about that, between himself and the battle for bronze. And here it is, Chelmos and Ben Healy. Ben Healy been hanging on the back wheel for a while. This is quite a way out to be already in this position, but you know, they'll feel like they're closer to home than perhaps they are, Brian. There's still quite a way for them to go to this little battle.
I can remember watching the Worlds last year, and I was kind of dipping in and out as you do in a long race, and you can see that Pogačar went through a difficult patch. Well, I don't think he's done anything wrong today. He's looked infallible, so no weakness whatsoever.
He's testing. He's actually come to this climb, Brian. He was sitting on the back wheel for quite some time. This is an attempt to shake off Chelmos. I think he'd quite like to finish without having to put up with a sprint. And this is his first move. There's 2 bike lengths, possibly 3 bike lengths. Oh, and there's bye-bye medal for Chelmos by the looks of things. And Ben Healy, he knew that he had to shake him off. It was a question of when he was going to do it. He'd taken an awful long time to hang on the back wheel of Matej Chelmos, and I'm afraid for the Dane that this looks like he's been outthought here by Ben Healy, who's kicked on. It's just a question of length, you might say, but it's a little bit more than that. You've got to have some planning in there. You've got to be ruthless as well. And Ben Healy has struck out here for a bronze medal. He wants to be on that podium, and he's going to earn it. What a fantastic move it was, Brian.
Yeah, he did this in the Tour of Luxembourg, I did just before this race, where both of these riders were riding, but that's just what Healy does. He just goes to the front and starts to grind away. At this stage of the competition, it's about what you have left in the legs, and Ben Healy's just got that little bit more left in the legs than Chelmos, and you know, he'll be wanting to grab this bronze medal for Ireland.
Yes, he will. That familiar riding style of his, where he just tips his head towards one side, and in fact imposing himself brilliantly here. Chelmos, not all over for him, but 4.2 kilometres it must feel like. His national car and his team came up to have a brief word, trying to instill a sense of urgency to him, but it may only be displayed as a modest margin, but it's getting bigger here, as you can see. And it is a widening gap, and we have medals defined by the looks of things. And as always, it seems to be on the climbs of this circuit, Brian.
Yeah, it's been an amazing championship. A display of dominance from Pogačar. He's taken back-to-back victories. You have to say that Evenepoel has been through the rack, come out the other side, but it's been a long wait for Ireland to get onto the podium in this race. The last time was
Sean Kelly back in the day.
You talked about it earlier. 1989 in the Chambéry with Greg LeMond winning from Dimitri Konishev. So way back in Chambéry when that happened, that was 36 years ago.
Sean Kelly, whenever we go there, Sean Kelly still gets upset. Thought he would have won that day. Greg LeMond said he had bad legs and turned it round into very, very good legs. Wow. What a piece of achievement to celebrate. Ireland have been on the top step, of course, in the past as well, Brian.
2 years before, 1987.
There we are. Well, right now, Ben Healy, it's been a long old gap for a medal at the Worlds, and he's going to get one. So it'll be Lincoln Green, I guess you might say. That's in England. What am I talking about? What's it called? The Green of Ireland?
Emerald.
Thank you.
Emerald Isle.
That's right. The Emerald Green. Thank you very much. We have the green of Slovenia that is going to come to the fore, though. However, 2.3 kilometres to go until this man turns green into rainbows. Absolutely remarkable. Evenepoel is, as predicted by Brian with his amazing crystal ball, a minute and a half down. It might well be that Tony Pogacar wants to make this as big as possible. If he can make this 2.5 minutes, that would be a real statement after the time trial.
It would be, but probably a little bit more, just to dig in a little bit. But yeah, no, the crowd at the finish are waiting. So does Urska Zigardi's partner. She had credit to her, she had a good ride yesterday in the women's race. She was in the thick of it towards the end. But she's waiting for her champion. Over the last year, we've only ever seen him in a leader's jersey or the world jersey. And it's going to be another year like that, you feel.
Remco is enjoying this little bit of respite on the descent. He's now got to power himself up to bring it home. He's going to come to the cobbles here. He's being shown the gap on the chalkboards. Meanwhile, already engaged at the top part of this climb is Tony Pogacar himself. Remco holding station around about a minute and a half down, and the celebrations amongst the civilian crew have already begun. Congratulations to them. They had a big battle plan. They came here with the biggest team, 9 riders, 8 plus the world champion. That's what you're allowed. They brought them all. They used them absolutely beautifully, but still the big question has to be answered. And part of it began to reveal itself with 100 kilometres to go. What an amazing tale. Tony Pogacar does it again, and from distance, an amazing gap.
Yeah, it is. And I can remember the scenes last year. Okay, it was different conditions. Today it's nice and sunny. The whole team were there, throwing Pogacar in the air. You know, they won the world title for the first time ever. You know, they're celebrating. They came here with high expectations. Okay, the time trial didn't go as well as expected, but this has gone absolutely to plan.
Absolutely remarkable. He's had a hell of a season as Tony Pogacar. Tour de France, of course, went his way. He pulled out of La Vuelta very, very late on. Wanted to concentrate on retaining the rainbow bands, which, of course, it looks like he's going to be wearing next year as well. What on earth can stop him? He could probably run it home from here. But he's on the cobbles for the last time. On the back, you might say, the entire field behind him. He is going to finish alone, and he is going to finish from such an incredible distance where he started this drive for the line and for glory. And look at the smile. It is a smile that's bursting through the grimace here, Brian.
Yeah, I think, you know, the first time you win a major title, I was fortunate to win a British title twice. The first time, it's great, you know, it's new, but the second time it's about taking it in more, and I think that's what Pogacar is doing. He's got that minute and a half. He can take it, he can breathe a little bit. He's done the job for the second time, and I think this will be kind of slightly extra special from him. You know, he did go through the emotions last year. He went through a difficult period. But for Pogacar to come back, you know, from last year and win this in a dominant fashion, this is extra special.
Tony Pogacar is bringing home his second consecutive World Road Race title. So much has been placed at the table of this man, but he has to pick it up every single time, and he did so from an incredible distance. 100 kilometres out, he imposed himself on this race, as he has done on the entire world of cycling. Ever since, as a young man, he rocked into our consciousness. He has stayed there, rock and roll, all the way to the line. Tony Pogacar, in charge of his own destiny, constantly, it seems. He measures himself against the very best and finds himself in clear space with nobody around him. It's become something perhaps he should get used to, but it doesn't. Him enjoying the moment.
Kamera ivuyeho. Mwihangane, 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 mwihangane. Umunota wa nyuma mwa urabona ko ari ikibazo rusange, ikibazo rwose abona nabo bari kwibaza ngo bigenze gute.
Pogacar in charge. And how will they celebrate? We shall wait for Remco Evenepoel, who will come in for an amazing silver medal. But just listen to this. Brian, he never seems out of breath.
No, it was amazing. I just like the fact that they stopped the vehicles to get that clean shot at the end. No vehicles in the background, and his whole team already showered, changed, ready to welcome their champion again, the second year in a row.
Let's welcome another champion, shall we? Our time trial champion, and really a champion of our hearts as well, Remco Evenepoel. He's had his troubles, of course he has. He is a man who often wears his heart on his sleeve. Sometimes, indeed, he looks precocious. Sometimes he looks just downright upset and crestfallen. But he remanaged himself. He regathered himself. He reignited himself and his challenge. He has already taken one World Championship title. He may be shaking his head here about what might have been had it been technically a little bit difficult. But in terms of spirit, he has achieved greatness. A silver medal for Remco Evenepoel. Quietly accepted now. I am certain there will be a smile upon the podium. And what about the last medal that we will award in these World Championships? It will be hung around the neck of Ben Healy. What a tale this is as well. It's been decades since Ireland had found themselves in a medaling position. Ben Healy had to shake off shoulders. He also had to shake off any doubts that he had, coming from a small team. But such a great run. This comes in small packages, and Ben Healy is one of those. He is a terrier. He terrorizes those around him, and he punches the air. He knows he's going to be sharing a podium with some magnificent riders, of which he can count himself one. Bronze medal.
Akoze cyane, mukore subscribe rwose.
bari kukumva.
mukore subscribe twikomereze n'ibirori. Ubu ibihugu uko bitondetse, siko icya mbere ni Slovakia, cya Slovenia, cya kabiri ni
He was wonderful. Tony Pogacar is our champion, Brian. And from that kind of distance, you can't deny him anything.
Well, this is the other shot of the day. What could have been, as you said. I think Pogacar would have won the race and taken the world title for the second time, but Evenepoel's beaten himself up and he'll continue to do this. He got round it in the race, of course, but pointing about what happened. It was just a critical point to he was found wanting, had some problems, but Ben Healy, to share the podium with two of the best bike riders in the world, with Pogacar and Evenepoel here. I think you can see, you saw the Irish flag and the punch in the air. Ben Healy was over the moon at finishing in third place.
Right here, right now, Ben Healy is one of the top 3 cyclists on planet Earth. How nice is that?
Oh, it's fantastic. 36 years since Sean Kelly took the bronze medal. Okay, a couple of years before that, Stephen Roach won gold, but it's been an outstanding day for a lot of riders. This man here, this is no surprise. I think he was the favourite by far. The time trial didn't go well for him, but this is no surprise to anybody that what he has did. But to go from 100 kilometres out to average what he did over this terrain, Remco, well, let's see where he goes from here and what he's like in the podium. But what he did to do was another astounding ride.
Absolutely amazing. What a privilege to witness. Well, some prices are bigger than others. But what we've had here at the Worlds is a whole load of love just poured over cycling. It's been a privilege. Thank you, Rwanda.
hari ibyari byarize bimukunda
Well, there are tears of anger and regret,
wagira ngo
but
kiri kureba iki cyicaro
Remco Evenepoel will realise what a brilliant World Championships he's had. He wanted it all, it didn't quite happen. But an amazing performance as well. And to come back from, well, 3 stalls essentially, and still get a silver medal, it speaks volumes. The number of professional victories at the age of 27 years and 7 days. Eddie Merckx, 166. Next in the history of our sport entirely, Danny Pogacar on 105. He's ahead of Bernardino, Roger de Vlaeminck, Francesco Moser, and everybody else, save for Eddie Merckx. You just never know. With the extension of careers and indeed the longevity of cycling these days and veteran status, Danny Pogacar may well indeed be the greatest of all time. Eddie Merckx thinks it's a distinct possibility. To be finished here, and this is Tom Squinch coming in. He wants a decent finish, and he is a very, very handy rider, and he carries his national jersey with pride. Regularly a Latvian national champion, and he's come home here, Brian, for another spectacular result.
Here's great. Gigoni, Del Toro, Ayuso. I was just looking at the lap times, the lap speeds for Pogacar there. The last 3 laps, around about the same, just over 42 kilometres an hour, which were the fastest 3 laps.
Absolutely superb.
Eulalio for Portugal, nice ride from him.
Look at the crowds. This is what cycling means, and this surely is its future.
Incredible, isn't it? That's the biggest crowd I've seen at Worlds.
Never seen anything like this. And this is the man they come to fate. Tadej Pogacar, I can't wait for the cheers when indeed the ceremony begins. He's done it again, Ryan. Tadej Pogacar takes the world title ahead of Remco Evenepoel. Ben Healy is a bronze medalist for Ireland. Matty Chalmers in 4th place. Tom Squinch rounds out the top 5 at these World Championships for the men's elite road race, finishing ahead of Giulio Ciccone. Isaac Del Toro, the Mexican, in 7th place. Juan Ayuso of Spain in 8th, ahead of well, we'll wait to see it possibly quite some time. I was just about to say, we're going to see different nations in the top 10, and I believe we are. Tom Pidcock throws the bike at the line just to edge Primož Roglič, and so it is that every single one of our positions in the top 10 are held by different nations. That is absolutely remarkable. Slovenia, Belgium, Ireland, Denmark, Latvia, Italy, Mexico, Spain, Portugal, Great Britain. That's your top 10. What a roster, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Everybody fighting for, the best position possible. There's been a few riders ebbing and flowing. Sivakov was, well up there in the top 10 there, just faded a little bit to the end, just like Tom Pidcock. Tom Pidcock just throws the bike at the line to get 10th place, finishing just behind Eulalio.
Juan Ayuso in 8th place, Isaac Dottoro 7th, Giulio Ciccone in 6th place, Tom Squinch gets a top 5, Matis Shelmos is out of the medals but finishes 4th, brilliant. Ben Healy for Ireland takes the bronze. Remco Evenepoel, despite all the adversity, the silver, and our champion is Tadej Pogačar again. And how many more times might we say that in a career that still has an awful lot to run? What a result. 6 hours 21 minutes, and we'll be hearing from Tadej Pogačar in just a few moments' time. He seemed fresh as a daisy, to be honest, when he came to the line. He was offering up his thanks to his own team, who had a master plan today, and it was delivered. He burnt down his teammates one after the other. They then took to their own little hot seats or courts. Enjoyed watching their man bring it in, and he did so from a margin of 100 kilometres out. It was a spectacular performance as we have ever seen in one of the finest world championships that has ever been. On the biggest of all of the continents, we are here in Africa, and we have absolutely loved our time. Brian, it's been brilliant.
Yeah, I echo those words. Been brilliant from the time trials last weekend. You know, even some surprises this week in almost every race that we've seen possibly the favourite come to the front. Yesterday, maybe an outsider, a bit of a surprise, but I think the crowd have enjoyed themselves. I think we have, and the riders, well, after they finish, I think they'll be satisfied that this torture is over.
Yeah, indeed. They continue to cross the line here, and Eritrea, I believe, the best placed African nation, and it's Mani Gebreshabier who comes home in 30th place. And all credit to him. 12 minutes off Tadej Pogačar, but with some great riders behind him. Riders like Aronsman, Rishi Carapaz. I could go on and name those, but Gebreshabier rounding out the top 30. That's a great achievement in itself. Africa, continent of the future as far as this sport is concerned, and we've come here to fate them as they have indeed hosted us. And it's been an absolute privilege to have witnessed it. Rwanda, we thank you.
Benim imisatsi hatereye unobije mu cyaro iwacu kabeza bajya none kwa muganga usigaye bari mu gihe cyo agiteza
Tadej Pogačar is our champion, and we will wait for him to be fated on the podium. This is how your top 20 rolled out. Roglic just beaten to the line by Pidcock, but the top 30 indeed completed with Mani Gebreshabier of Eritrea, the top African rider after this World Championships. much room down there. The podium is going to be raucous. Quite frankly, I can't wait. There's going to be a massive roar. The people of Rwanda can be extremely proud of what they have produced here. It's been just a whole sequence of wonderful days of racing. And what a way to finish. With the man himself, Tony Bagacha, going on an all-out assault from 100 kilometres out. It left some bruises out there, not least, of course, with Remco Evenepoel. Del Toro played his part, Ayuso got shaken out. Ultimately, the same fate awaited everybody as Tony Bagacha went on to take the title.
hari abantu bakwicara batanatekereza iyo mpano.
Today, world champion again, but you wanted to do it even better than last year in Zurich, taking off with 105 kilometers to go. Spectacular.
I think the parcours was designed for this, but I was hoping that a small group would form like we did with Juan and Del Toro. Perfect combo. I was like, okay, this is like dreams not to ride together as far as possible as a trio, but Juan had a problem quite soon on the more of on the cobbles, and Del Toro had some stomach problems, I think, after the race. I mean, in the race, so I was left alone quite early, and was solo like last year, just fighting with myself. But I'm so happy I made it.
Were there moments where you doubted?
For sure, yeah, because the climbs were getting harder and harder every lap, and also on the downhills was not so fast. You still had to like pedal quite a lot. So yeah, the energy resources was going towards the end, and it was so hard. The few final laps, and of course you doubt a bit, but you have to push through and hope for the best.
To do it here in Africa, to do it on this course, under 30 riders finished, makes it even more special.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible experience altogether, and let's say it was a successful week.
Enjoy the podium.
Sepike asking the questions of a great man and a great champion, Tony Bagacha. We now wait for him to receive the gold medal, share the podium, of course, as he will with Remco Evenepoel, who I am certain must have cheered up over having realised just what he's achieved in these championships. World time trial champion, runner-up to Tony Bagacha here at the Roads. The most successful rider, I guess you might say, of indeed these championships is Remco Evenepoel. A gold and a silver to his name, something that can't be matched by Tony Bagacha. Tony has, of course, taken the big one, the elite road race, and he will wear the bands with pride for the remainder
kwitegura
to the
kureba
rest of
ibirori
next season,
bya gutanga igihembo
and possibly
nyamukuru
beyond. Who on earth is ever
bigiye
going to
gutangwa
unseat him?
n'umuyobozi
Remco gave it a good go.
mukuru
Ben Healy with a bronze medal. And we're going to meet them again in just a few moments' time. Wait for the trumpets.
komita ko ari umushyitsi mukuru kandi ariwe akaba rero wari ugiye gutanga ibihembo tubibutsa yuko muri UCI habaye amatora ubundi wari perezida akaba ari ukiri perezida wa UCI ku batari bahari hagiye guhembwa batatu ba mbere bitwaye neza. Uwa mbere akaba yitwa akaba ari umunyaslovania, uwa kabiri akaba yari uwo bita Evan Powell akaba ari umunya hanyuma uwa gatatu akaba ari umunya Ireland. Twakomeje rero akaba yagiye gukurikiraho igikorwa cyiza cyane cyo gutanga ibihembo kuri shampiyona du monde. Wabaye shampiyona w'isi ubu ngubu dufite muri UCI niwo bita Pogacar, akaba aturuka mu gihugu cya Slovenia. Hanyuma rero urabona ko kuri stade rwose hatangiye imbere, baratangiye gukubitaho umuziki, urabibona neza cyane rwose baratangiye. Kuri stage rwose bahanze amaso ari benshi cyane, aho hagiye gutangira ibihembo by'abakinnyi.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the award ceremony of the 2025 UCI Road World Championships in Kigali. Mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue à la cérémonie protocolaire des championnats du monde route UCI 2025 à Kigali.
Ikaze kuri mwese muteraniye hano, tubaye ikaze mwese mudukurikiye, ikaze mu birori byo gutanga ibihembo ku bakinnyi bitwaye neza muri shampiyona y'isi y'amagare mu 2025 UCI Road World Championship iri gukinirwa ahangaha i Kigali.
That is absolutely astounding.
Award ceremony of the 2025
What a welcome.
UCI Road World Championships Men Elite Road Race. Cérémonie protocolaire des championnats du monde route UCI 2025, course en ligne homme élite.
Hagiye guhembwa abatsinze muri shampiyona y'amagare mu 2025 mu bagabo Men Elite Road Race.
The bronze medal will be presented by Monsieur David Lapartien, UCI President. La médaille de bronze sera remise par Monsieur David Lapartien, président de l'UCI.
Umudari wa bronze ugiye gutangwa na perezida wa UCI Bwana David Lapartien.
In third place and winner of the bronze medal, representing Ireland. À la troisième place et vainqueur de la médaille de bronze, représentant l'Irlande.
Umudari wa bronze ugiye kwegukanwa n'umukinnyi ukinira Irlande,
Ben Healy.
It's a rock star atmosphere here, and Ben Healy is part of it. He's taken a bronze medal for Ireland. That is magnificent.
The silver medal will be presented by His Serene Highness Prince Albert II of Monaco. La médaille d'argent sera remise par Son Altesse Sérénissime le Prince Albert II de Monaco.
Umwanya wa kabiri n'umudari wa feza biratangwa na n'igikomangoma Albert wa kabiri wa Monaco.
In second place and winner of the silver medal representing Belgium. À la deuxième place et vainqueur de la médaille d'argent en représentant la Belgique.
Ku mwanya wa kabiri n'umudari wa feza yegukanywe n'umukinnyi ukinira Ububirigi,
Remco Evenepoel.
He is, of course, also a champion, having won the time trial. And I think he will contemplate this ultimately and realise what an achievement it is. No shame in runners-up, especially the manner of which he took silver. That was an amazing ride.
The rainbow jersey and gold medal will be presented by His Excellency Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, and Monsieur David Lapartien, UCI President. Le meilleur arc-en-ciel et la médaille d'or seront remises par Monsieur Son Excellence Paul Kagame, Président de la République du Rwanda et de David Lapartien, président de l'UCI.
umwambaro w'uwatsinze n'umudari wa zahabu iratangwa na nyakubahwa perezida wa repubulika y'u Rwanda His Excellency Paul Kagame na perezida wa UCI Bwana David Lapartien.
In first place, UCI world champion and winner of the gold medal, representing Slovenia. À la première place, champion du monde UCI et gagnant de la médaille d'or, représentant la Slovénie.
Shampiyona y'isi yo gusiganwa ku magare n'umudari wa zahabu yegukanywe n'umukinnyi ukinira Slovenia
Tadej Pogačar.
What an amazing champion, and what an amazing atmosphere as well. It's almost hard to quantify just what a brilliant scenario has been created here. And what a great way to win it as well. Tadej Pogačar, heroic status here to so many in this amazing day after an amazing week of racing at these World Championships here in Rwanda.
The Tissot Watch will be presented by Monsieur David Lapartien, the UCI President. La montre Tissot sera présentée par Monsieur David Lapartien, président de l'UCI.
impano y'isaha ikorwa n'uruganda Tissot igiye gutangwa na Bwana David Lapartien akaba ari umukuru wa UCI.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of our new UCI World Champion, we present the national anthem of Slovenia. Mesdames et messieurs, en l'honneur de notre nouveau champion du monde UCI, nous vous présentons l'hymne national de la Slovénie.
mudufasha kwishimira uwegukanye shampiyona y'isi y'amagare mu gukomeza kumuha icyubahiro twese duhaguruke mu gihe yaririmbwa indirimbo yubahiriza igihugu cye cya Slovenia. murakoze cyane twongere dushimira abegukanye imidari muri irushanwa mu byiciro bitandukanye aribo
Gold and world champion Tadej Pogačar, silver medalist in médaille d'argent Remco Evenepoel, and bronze medalist Ben Healy.
Brian, have you ever experienced like it? It's rock concert, goodness sake.
Oh, these are rock stars, so yes, maybe not cycling, but certainly at a rock concert. But yeah, look, everybody's deserved a medal today. I know there might be a disappointment, especially from Remco. I think when he looks at it, he'll be happy.
I am certain of it. We most certainly are. Well, we'll be hearing from Tadej Pogačar as he is interviewed as world champion in just a few moments' time. He's surely going to have to bite the medal again. Gold team of gold medals, and indeed our appreciation as well.
I'm proud of people. Wow. Bye bye. Wakoze kwitabira rero niba gukora subscribe nyuma kugira cyo ama events menshi meza cyane muramo bakurikirana ibisanzwe. Gukora subscribe kugira ngo tugenda mwakoze kubana natwe rero byari ibintu byiza cyane thank you very much nawe muraba agaciro kandi mwakoze cyane mwakoze kubana natwe
Yes, mu kanya gato tugiye kwakira DJ Ira biguse ko dufite Bwiza ndetse na Chris
tukaba turanya rero ko hano hagiye kuba ibirori
Well, we've got a DJ coming on called Chris Busy. I can't wait to hear the Wings of Steel once they get in. Meanwhile, protocols and the interviews and the congratulations for all for this amazing man.
hano rero bari kwifite abasazanye n'abayobozi bakuru abana n'umuyobozi mukuru na His Excellency.
Well, it's nearly time for us to fly home. Thanks to you at home as well for joining us. If you've been here from the start today, give yourself your own medal. That is quite an achievement. A very, very long day. Extremely enjoyable. And indeed for this man, extraordinarily profitable as well.
I'll talk do para eu.
Take my watch and my gorilla. Let's hear from the World Champion, shall we? Good day at the office. 6 hours, 21 minutes and 20 seconds was all it took him to complete the task today. Was the bit on the bike at the beginning of the day, of course, the sign-on, but you get the idea. 267.5 kilometres completed in that time.
Today, world champion for the second consecutive year. There was no way you were gonna give up that jersey.
Yeah, I mean, it's a privilege now that I don't need to change my whole closet again. And I was chasing this the whole year again because I mean, especially after the tour with the rest, with some just it was big goal, and I'm so happy to retain this beautiful jersey.
How special is it to do it here in Rwanda, here in Africa?
Yeah, it's quite special. It's been a long trip to here. It's been an amazing few days, and just incredible experience. So in overall, and I'm super happy, so proud of this week.
You were going to attack at the top of Kigali. That was the plan.
I know our plan was not like this, but all the experienced guys in the team told me not to go, but yeah, I was feeling really good, and I was especially on the top when I saw Juan is following, Del Toro is close. I was like, then I knew it's a good move to go with these two big engines and try to go as long as possible together. But I did not to go alone again so far.
You enter history even more. Now the goal is to carry on making history, to win in Montreal, a place that you know very well.
Yeah, I think next year is gonna be really again one incredible experience in my opinion. Really looking forward for that one, and let's first enjoy another year in Rainbow, and we'll see next year.
Bon voyage, congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, David. Thank you.
And we add congratulations as well. Well, what an amazing week of racing. Every single one of the world champions, and indeed all of the medalists, deserve our appreciation. And we'd like to say thank you as well to those of you who have been listening to both myself, Carlton Kirby, and of course to Brian Smith throughout these entire championships. Brian,
Absolutely brilliant.
it's a privilege to see so many amazing races in your good company at home. So thank you for sharing the ride, and I sincerely hope if we can indeed come together again in the near future and enjoy yet more of this amazing sport that we love so much. We'll bid you a fond farewell for now, though, from Kigali and from Rwanda. Safe. We shall see you next time as this amazing sport continues to spread throughout the beautiful planet house, made, of course, distilled into magnificence here in Rwanda.
This is David UCI. UCI hari uri kumbaza ngo UCI bivuze iki mu magambo arambuye, bivuze Union Cyclist International. Umuryango w'abibumbye cyangwa umuryango mukuru, umuryango mpuzamahanga w'abatwazi b'amagare. Wow, that's amazing. Abantu turi kumwe rwose nabashimiye cyane, murabo kwishimirwa, murabo agaciro, kandi rwose nabishimiye rwose, nakoze kubana natwe. Hanyuma ubundi bwo nakugaruka. Mbibutsa gusura channel yose mukara video ziriho. Hari video nashyizeho nigisha uko hari abantu bahoze bambaza ngo ese wakoresha Mango 4G gute uhamagara, nabyo biriho uzi kureba uko bigenda. Hanyuma nugira ikibazo zo kunyandikira kuri nimero iriho kuri video. Hanyuma izindi hari video nyinshi cyane uko wakwestala VOLT muri telefone yawe, ari nayo igufasha gukoresha 4G telecoms cyangwa ya masimu card yakorewe gutanga internet, ukaba wanayihamagaza. Video nyinshi cyane zagufasha mu mikoreshereze ya telefone yawe cyangwa se mu mikoreshereze ya mudasobwa. Ufite ikibazo cyangwa hari igikoresho ushaka ko kubwiraho, ushobora kunyandikira kuri nimero iriho kuri channel. Ushobora no kudusura kandi kuri TikTok Neja.tech, Facebook page Neja.tech, Instagram Neja.tech ndetse na X Neja.tech. Bibutsa rwose ko ahangaha ahanini dukunze gucishaho ibiganiro bya tekinoloji cyangwa n'ikoranabuhanga, ariko uyu munsi by'umwihariko hakaba bari bansabye ko twananyuzaho n'iyi UCI. Ntabwo ari ibyo nakoze rero, ari byo mukomeje gukurikira live rero kuri stage. Abaje none hambibutsa yuko harimo ibirori byo gutanga igihembo cyangwa ibihembo muri Men Elite 2025 Road Racing ku bagabo basiganwe. Bakaba bakoresheje igihe kingana n'amasaha 6 n'iminota irengaho, bakaba bagendaga ibirometero bisaga 280. Rero irushanwa rikaba ryatwawe n'umunya-Slovenia ariwe Pogacar, agakurikirwa n'umubirigi ariwe Lita Evan Powell. Ibihembo nyamukuru rero bikaba byamaze gutangwa, tukaba dutegereje stage rwose, aho kuri stage hagiye kuza abahanzi bo kudususurutsa. Hakaba by'umwihariko hitezwe abahanzi babiri, umuhanzi Bwiza Emerance bya Bwiza ndetse na Christian Izi. Chris rero ukabona ko bari gutegura stage neza rwose, aho tugiye kureba rwose ibirori byiza binogeye amaso hano. Nkibutsa ko Neja.tech ndabasaba gukora subscribe. Hano batwereka Kigali rwose, abantu batuye Kigali rwose murabona ko mutuye ahantu heza cyane. Mutuye ahantu heza cyane rwose. This is Kigali, ku buryo just nawe turi twose turavuga ngo visit Rwanda. Rwose ni ibintu byiza cyane, kandi nk'abanyarwanda tugomba guterwa ishema no kugira igihugu cyiza nk'iki ngiki. Guys, muri ab'agaciro rero, mwakoze kubana natwe, ni iby'agaciro, mwakoze kubana natwe rwose, babwira yuko akantu kose mugenda mugakurikira gatanu kuri gatanu. This is Kigali, this is a country, this is Rwanda, this is the most beautiful country in the world, and this is the green city Kigali, a clean city Kigali. Visit Rwanda, visit Kigali. We have also some places to visit like Nyagatare. Here in Nyagatare you can visit more. There is Akagera National Park located in Nyagatare, Kayonza. Then there is also Nyungwe National Park located in southern province of Rwanda, like Nyaruguru, Nyamagabe, and also there is Volcanoes National Park located in the northern parts of Rwanda, like in Musanze, in Bulela. That's it. Those ones are the first place that you can visit here in Rwanda. So guys, urabona rero, this is Kigali. Urabona bari kukwereka Nyabarongo rwose. This is Nyabarongo River. Akaba ari umugezi muremure cyane rwose. Abantu mutarambuka Nyabarongo muyambukiye ku Kamonyi, ndabasuhuje. Abari kutureba bari mu ntara, kwandika muri komenti ukatubwira aho uherereye twiga. Urabona rwose ko muri comment harimo Rwanda is the best. Rwanda is the best ever and ever. Rwanda is the best. Rwanda is the country. Oh my God. Rwanda ni igihugu cyiza rwose, umuntu wese yifuza kuba yaturamo. Rwanda ni igihugu cyiza rwose. Wibutsa gukora subscribe. Iyi ni Kigali rero kubona aho ngaho.
ikazajya muri Montreal muri Canada umwaka utaha muri 2026 cyangwa se 2026.
Please welcome to the stage Mrs. Candy Basomingera, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Sports, Mr. Samson Ndayishimiye, President of the Rwandan Cycling Federation, Mr. David Lapartien, UCI President, Mr. Joseph Limar, General Director, Montréal 2026. Mrs. Mylène Gagnon, Vice President, Sales and Convention Services, Tourisme Montréal. Monsieur Alain Vaillancourt, City Councillor, Montreal, Montréal. Julie Crowley, High Commissioner of Canada to the Republic of Rwanda. Merci d'accueillir sur la scène Madame Candy Basomingera, secrétaire permanente du ministère des Sports du Rwanda. Monsieur Samson Ndayishimiye, de la Fédération rwandaise de cyclisme, M. David Lapartien, président de l'Union cycliste internationale, M. Joseph Limar, directeur général Montréal 2026, Mme Mylène Gagnon, vice-présidente vente et services au congrès Tourisme Montréal, M. Alain Vaillancourt, conseiller municipal de Montréal, et Mme Julie Crowley, haute commissaire du Canada auprès de la République du Rwanda.
muri uyu mwanya rero twakiriye Madamu Kandi Basomingera akaba ari Permanent Secretary wa Ministère ya Sport, Samson Ndayishimiye President wa Ferwacy, David Lapartien akaba ari UCI President, twakiriye kandi Monsieur Joseph Man akaba ari General Manager wa Montreal 2026, kandi Gagnon Mien akaba ari Vice President wa Sales na Services muri Montreal, twakiriye kandi Monsieur Alain Vaillancourt akaba ari City Councillor wa Montreal ndetse na Mrs. Julie Crowley akaba ari High Commissioner of Canada Rwanda.
We will now hear a few words from the UCI President, M. David Lapartien, followed by Mrs. Candy Basomingera. Nous allons maintenant entendre quelques mots du président de l'UCI, M. David Lapartien, puis de Mme Candy Basomingera.
Muri tujye kwakira David Lapartien agire ijambo tugezaho nyuma turaza kumva Kandi Basomingera akaba ari PS wa Minisport.
Good evening Kigali, good evening Rwanda. Thank you very much. It has been probably the most beautiful World Championship ever here in Africa. Thank you to all of you for supporting the athletes. Thank you. What amazing races witnessed this week. It was so wonderful. The race today also excellent. You were 1 million people along the routes today. Wonderful. Thank you very much. So I want to congratulate Rwanda, His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Paul Kagame. He has done all the organizing committee. They've done an amazing job also. Congratulations. And the National Cycling Federation also with the president here, Samson. Thank you very much to all of you. And of course, we will all remember the first ever UCI World Championship in Africa after 125 years. And next year, we will move in another country. We'll go in North America, in Canada, in Quebec, in Montreal, and I'm very pleased to have this organizing committee with us. Sure, they will try also their best to continue to deliver the World Championship at the highest level. So, thank you Kigali, thank you Rwanda, thank you Montreal, thank you Quebec, and thank you Canada. Good evening you all. Thank you.
Mwiriwe Kigali. Thank you so much. It's been an honor to be hosting this historic event, the first time on the continent here in Kigali. Thank you so much for coming out to all the crowd, and we wish a good trip back home to all the 108 nations and riders that came here all the way from close and far to be participating in this championship. Thank you very much. We are very excited also to handing over to Montreal next year. We are happy that they're ending with a champion. So all to Montreal, we know you will do at least as good as what we did here in Kigali. Thank you very much. Thank you, UCI. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Amina, the entire UCI team, and everybody that has contributed to this success. Nice evening.
And now I would would like to invite, j'ai invité Madame Bassimangera à se joindre à nous et passer l'événement symbolique de par le drapeau. And I would like to invite Mrs. Bassimangera to join us, and by sharing the flag of the UCI with the organizing committee of Montréal 2026.
muri mwanya tugiye kwakira Basomingera kandi akaba agiye guhereza rero idarapo rimwemerera Monsieur Joseph Limal kuzakira shampiyona y'isi y'amagare umwaka utaha muri Montreal,
Canada.
J'aimerais inviter Monsieur Joseph Limard et Monsieur Alain Béancourt à dire quelques mots au nom de Montréal 2026. I'd like to invite Monsieur Limard and Monsieur Vaillancourt to say a few words on behalf of Montréal 2026.
Monsieur le Président, au nom de Montréal 2026, je tiens à féliciter le Rwanda et la ville de Kigali pour la qualité d'organisation de cette édition historique et extraordinaire. Nous repartons avec une énorme énergie et nous sommes prêts pour l'année prochaine. Et nous repartons avec le drapeau, oui, mais nous repartons aussi avec un maillot, le maillot de Magdeleine Mirière qui a gagné chez les femmes hier. Merci à tous et rendez-vous à Montréal en septembre 2026.
Good evening. Congratulations, Kigali. I want to especially thank you, the people of Kigali, Rwanda. You have made this a success, a historical world. I want to thank you on behalf of everyone of the delegation of Montreal. We are all taking a bit of Rwanda back home with us, and for that we thank you, and we hope to see you in Montreal 2026. Thank you very much.
Once again, everybody, congratulations to Kigali. Félicitations à Kigali, and we look forward to seeing you next year in Montréal, host of the 2026 UCI Road World Championships. Et on se donne rendez-vous l'an prochain, mesdames et messieurs, à Montréal, hôte des championnats du monde route UCI 2026. Merokase! Kigali turya show! Kigali turya show!
Montreal rwose hazabera 2026 UCI yari mu Rwanda urayibona neza cyane nk'uko ziriya masikoti ziri kubigaragaza.
Congratulations.
Congratulations Rwanda. Bavuga ati ibintu byari biteguye neza rwose.
Good job.
Akoze neza cyane, aritanze, akazi keza gakoze neza. Bamushimira rwose ko yitwaye neza, wari uri muri masikoti. Rero akaba ariwe bita Pogata, akaba ariwe watwaye irushanwa ry'umunsi cyangwa ry'umwaka, akaba ariwe champion of the world championship, akaba ariwe champion.